everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to be giving you a tour of this sketchbook, which I just finished. And yeah, let's just get into it, I guess. Today's shout out goes to Tally Media Art. Thank you so much for your comment. I really like reading y'all's comments, and if you would like a shout out in the video, all you have to do is leave a comment. That could have been you. Alrighty, so here we have Sketchbook. It's just a standard artist Loft sketchbook, except this time I got one of the spiral bound ones. But let's just go ahead and get into this. As you can see, I started this sketchbook back in June. I think, yeah, the exact date was June 11th. That says July, actually. That says 7/11. I think it was June, though. I think I just wrote the date wrong. Anyways. For the first portion of the sketchbook, I was using a ballpoint pen almost exclusively, but as you will see later, those privileges were revoked. But anyways, this is Kalindi Matako fan art, except she's an adult here. She doesn't make it to adulthood in the actual story, unfortunately. Anyways, these are some of my OCs. This is Shanti, this is Kamir. You'll see these two a lot more. Can't remember what this was about. Oh, on this side I was doing some self-portraits, but not all of these are self-portraits. Here I remember I was watching My Adventures with Superman and I drew Kara. And there's another OC, this is Myra. Here, as you can see, there's like some weird stuff going on at the bottom. What happened was, or at least I think what happened, I think I like put a bonnet on top of this or something and it like messed up the page somehow. Also, I wanted to add more color to the sketchbook, which is why it started with this brightly colored watercolor painting, and I started using like highlighters and stuff to kind of color some of the sketches or bring a little more attention to some of the sketches. Also over here there's some Delicious in Dungeon. I think that's what it's called. I haven't watched it in a minute. Fan art over here of Laos. Laos? I can't remember. It's been a minute since I watched it. This is kind of a redraw of an old drawing, like a really old drawing from my channel. It's like from 2017. I did like a draw daily thing to kind of get me into making videos and get me comfortable with making videos. And I drew this portrait of like a Black Madonna. I lost the file. I think my computer crashed or something and I was like really upset about it. It still hurts my feelings. On this page I was drawing girlies on TikTok. Just as a random person would come up on my For You page, I would pause the video and draw them. So that's that. Here's another OC. His name is Lentz. I draw him a lot too. This looks silly. Some more stuff. Here's some more Myra drawings and some more drawings of Lentz. Lentz and Myra are a thing, and the other two OCs that I showed earlier, Shanti and Kamir, they're a thing too, if you're unfamiliar with my work. If you're new here, which there are quite a few new people here. I'm at 3,500 plus subscribers right now, which thank you so much for subscribing. Really appreciate it. And that is a lot of people, so thanks. Anyways, this is Lentz again. I wanted to give him a nice little outfit, except I don't like it. I don't think that's something he would actually wear. He's more of a casual wear type guy. Here's Myra over here. This is an old OC. Her name was Pentel. However, I think I want to rename her. But she was in the same story as Lentz and Myra, and she was like one of their besties or whatever. But I don't draw this character super often, but this year is like, well, I guess it wasn't this year, it was last year. Well, that's crazy. But anyways, I was like, you know what, maybe I should draw her a little more and maybe find a way to reincorporate her back into the story. But then I kind of stopped again, so maybe one day she'll get her little comeback. But anyways, got some more. Was it Delicious in Dungeon? I think that's what it was. My memory's not the best. And I'm a little sleepy today. My brain's not working properly. I did some fan art from that. Just from memory. I didn't use references or anything. Here's Kamir and Shanti and Lentz. And I used Prismacolors on this page. And I also was apparently swatching Posca Pens and watercolor here. Where are they gone? Oh, this was a sketch for a watercolor painting, which is on the other page. Wow. Something that I did in the sketchbook is I would draw something outside of my sketchbook, like this is watercolor paper, and I would paste it inside because I do not like it when this happens. You can see it here. Markers bleed in here, and this paper is not suitable for watercolors, and so when you do use watercolors on this paper, it warps a lot. So I was like, you know what I'll do? I'll just paste stuff in here, and that's what I did. I like it. I like the colors in this one, and I recall having fun painting it, but I can't remember. It's been a minute. This is the first drawing that I did with Ohuhu Markers. I got some Ohuhu Markers thanks to a coffee supporter last year, and I'm super excited about that, and I'm super thankful for that, and I use them a lot, and I love them. But this was the first test that I did with them, and then I did some more over here. And because the markers bleed, because this paper is not suitable for markers, I just, like with this one bled on the other side, I just drew line art over it to kind of fix it, to make it look a little better maybe, instead of just trying to draw over it or around it. However, on this page, they kind of had to just be that way. This page, I did some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure stuff, which I haven't watched in a minute. I haven't finished it. I forget his name. Josuke, I think was his name. Oh my gosh, I can't remember a thing today. But yeah, he's a fun little dude to draw, and I drew his little buddies too. And I was using Posca Pens, and it's very blue, as you bring it there. Sometimes you gotta go blue. Yeah. This page, I think, was done with one of these. This is a Prismacolor Verithin in the color Delia Purple. You can't erase it though, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I guess I wanted to add more color. I can't remember. But yeah. And this was also an Ohuhu marker drawing. It was going to be for a video, but then I was like, actually, this was maybe a little too ambitious for my skill level, so I ended up doing something else. This was the other test. Also, I didn't like the markers on this paper. This is like some type of, I think it's De Lironi marker paper, and you can't really blend very well on this paper, so it's like, eh. So I ended up doing stuff on Bristol instead, and it blends a lot better on Bristol. This is the drawing that ended up in the Ohuhu marker trial video. And I really like it. It's Myra. It's Kamer again. But anyways, I gave Kamer some fancy little boots. He doesn't have those fancy little boots anymore. I don't draw him with those anymore. I want to draw like more detailed stuff, but then when it's time to actually draw the more detailed stuff, I'm like, actually, I don't want to do all. But I gotta stop doing that, and I gotta do it. I gotta stop. I gotta draw the boots. Okay, on this page, I drew some Superman stuff. I watched like all of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies for the first time last year, and I also watched My Adventures with Superman. I watched it when it came out, the first season came out, and I didn't know the second season came out, and I was like, oh my goodness. And then I watched the second season, and then I watched the entire series over again immediately afterwards. And then I was like, well, let me go watch all the Christopher Reeves movies, because I'd never seen them before. And it was a jolly good time. I really enjoyed myself. And so I did a page of Superman and Lois. They're so silly. On this page, I was having some trouble with my side profiles. And as you have seen, I've been using ballpoint pen throughout the sketchbook. But here, suddenly, I'm using pencil. I noticed I was having some trouble drawing side profiles. And I can't erase ballpoint pen, obviously. So I was like, let me grab my mechanical pencil. I use a Pentel twist erase, and I was just like, I'm gonna use that instead so I can actually like erase stuff if I need to, so I can actually work on that. And it definitely helped a lot. But then I went back to ballpoint pen over here, as you can see. But then here, I accepted the truth. The truth was, I had to put the ballpoint pen down, at least for a second. I haven't picked the ballpoint pen back up though. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm still using the mechanical pencil, which recently I got some like nice quality pencils that have different grades of lead. These are Faber-Castell 9000 black lead pencils of superior quality. And Winsor & Newton sketching set. And I found that I really like the 8B pencil. It's really nice. That's not what this is though. These are done with just 0.7 lid, Pentel lid, HB lid, but yeah. I felt like I had lost muscle memory. Like sometimes I feel a little clumsy when I don't draw for a little while, and I think that's what was going on here. I picked up the pencil and it's definitely helped, like a lot. And I'm going to be using pencil for the remainder of the sketchbook because it's definitely nice because you can erase stuff. Here I've got some of that highlighter stuff going on. Actually, it's not a highlighter. That was like a random fruit scented pen that I got from like, I think TJ Maxx or something. I don't know the brand, It still smells like pineapple. But yeah, it like kind of smells like pina colada or like pineapple or something. It doesn't smell like that once you put it on the page though, but yeah, it doesn't have a brand name on it. It's just pen. But the other color that's highlighter, but as you can see, my highlighter is drying out a little bit, which is unfortunate. This is just a bunch of lenses. Just a bunch of lenses. Him has like 9, maybe 7. Actually, maybe 7 or 6. He'd be a tall 7 or 6-year-old, I think. I decided to also start drawing his hair down a little more, because usually I would draw it like in a ponytail behind his back or in braids. Or in a like messy bun. But here he's bald, except he's not actually bald, it's just a buzz cut. Here's some K-Mirror stuff, and Shanti as well. I turned this page into a little comic. Here's what that looks like next to it. This is just an idea that I had written, because I write stuff too. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to draw it too. And I did, and it was fun. This sketch is my favorite. It's really silly. Also this one. This is based off of that Fallon meme. It's really silly. Also, there's a little animation thing at the bottom. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's just like a really simple 2 drawing animation. This whole little corner. Look at them, they're so silly. It's kind of hard to do because I like have to like brace my thumb on there and like. Yeah, anyways. I got a little distracted there. So this was for a TikTok of that brother may have some oats thing, because it was like stuck in my head. I drew that, but with K-Mirror's cat. His cat's name is Bells, and it's like a loth cat.
Brother, may I have some oats? No. I am starving, brother. As am I, brother. The tall, skinny figure has thrown the oats at me. Me, brother.
This is a Star Wars OC. I forgot to mention that earlier. I remember on this particular evening, I was like feeling like extra creative. So I stayed up really late drawing. And that's kind of what this is about. That's why it says so many ideas. I'm like, I don't know, falling or something. And I'm like doing stuff. I don't know. Also, I had coffee apparently. Also, I was trying to work out like what because K-Mirror has a sleeve. I was like trying to figure out what his tattoo should be. It was a snake for the longest time, but then I was like, maybe fish make a little more sense, because there's like fish play a small, very, very small role in this story. So it's like maybe it should be fish, but I don't know. Recently I've kind of gone back to snakes. Here's some more stuff that I had written and was like, well, let me draw it. And that was a fun little thing. It's really fun to like write something and then see it come to life in a drawing. This here, someone tried to scam me on Instagram out of like $400 or $500, and I was like, come on, my guy. I opened my commissions. The first few commission requests were all scams. I drew the scammer. It was a fun evening. It was really funny, actually. It's my hand. See, I like traced my hand. And then I just drew my OCs around my hand. Also, there's Ash Baby here. This was for Peachtober. This was before I decided to actually like plan out Peachtober. This was the first sketch that I did for that. I eventually decided to like actually plan everything out, which you'll see in a sec. This is a self-portrait thingy, and I drew some links. And I also planned out some Patreon wallpapers, because I do like a monthly wallpaper for patrons, which should be out already, I think. If so, that's what that looks like. This page, this is something my nephew did. He's like 3 and he wanted to draw. And then my older brother also wanted to draw because he knows how to draw too. He was like, he did that. And he said it was his first drawing in a while. He said it's my other older brother. My older brothers are both, they're twins. And he said, oh, this is the other brother. I was like, sure that's not you? But they're twins, so it's like, you know. And we've got some more OC stuff, but then we also have some me stuff. A little, because I'm very sleepy. I'm just a very sleepy girl. I'm sleepy all the time. Then I drew Lentz wanting mozzarella sticks for some reason. And then some K-Mirror stuff. This one's really silly. I really like this one, and this one too. And then there's Shanti with this nice little hairstyle, because I've been like trying to figure out what I want her hair to look like, and this is like one of the things I was testing out. Over here we've got some more Kalindi Matacos, except I'm actually the age she is in the story. She's in a book called The Wrath of Darth Maul. Oh my gosh. So here's some more Shanti stuff. I'm also just trying to figure out what I want this character to look like. It's like she has an established design in my head, but I'm trying to like get it out on paper, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I was trying to work out her outfit and her hair on this page, and a little bit over here too. Okay, this was for that maps trend where the person does wait and then they do the little dance. And originally I was just going to draw it on paper, which I mean, I did draw it on paper, but I eventually did it digitally. This is what that looks like. It was a fun little thing. It was really fun, and unfortunately TikTok has muted that audio, which I mean, unfortunately that may not matter in a few days anyway, so yeah. Anyways, here's Lentz with a really bad mustache, and Myra tells him to shave, and he does, and he's really kind of sad about it, but he can't really do that. He does not have good facial hair at all. And on this page, we're getting into the Peachtober sketches. I like planned out each and every day. This was my first year doing something like that, and it was super helpful. I should have been done this. Like this should have been what I just do. That made no sense. That sentence was all over the place. You can find all of these, like the entire sketching process for these, like how I was thinking while I was drawing these as I was reading the prompts and stuff. And I also filmed the entire Peachtober. You can watch every single drawing that I made for Peachtober, all 31 drawings, and then I also did a tour of all the drawings afterwards. So I'll put that playlist in the end cards if you would like to see another kind of sketchbook tour type video. So we're gonna have quite a few more Peachtober related drawings coming up. For Peachtober, one of the prompts was Earth, and my OCK mirror is not from Earth. He's a Star Wars OC. So I ended up drawing him as an Earthling. See what I did there? Originally, Lentz and K-Mir were like brothers, so I was like, you know, that'd be fun if he was still related to Lentz in some way. So I had to make him a cousin, and he's very emo, he's very moody. I don't know, for whatever reason, when I drew him as a human, I was like, maybe he should be a little moody, because it would be like the opposite of Lentz, because Lentz is he's not jovial. He's a very silly, high energy type person. But you could have two of those, because I was about to say you can't have two people like that, but you definitely could. I don't know if that makes any sense. Oh my gosh, I'm letting it into my dark, twisted mind. Anyways, let me stop. On this page, I was using Prismacolors because like I said earlier, I wanted to add more color to my sketchbook, which it's a little more colorful than previous sketchbooks, but still pretty colorless. But this page, I broke out the Prismacolors. I did the Kool-Aid Man, and he's saying, oh yeah, because it's like his signature thing, except this time it's a threat. This was a thumbnail for Peachtober. It looks better than the finished drawing, but it be like that sometimes. It's okay. It be like that sometimes. Here's K-Mir he's not having a panic attack, but maybe just a little bit. On this page, I was drawing fawns, because that was one of the prompts. Except I don't really draw animals. I plan on doing that during the year-long art challenge. That's like one of the months. One of the prompts for one of the months is to practice animals, and I definitely need to practice. This was for the prompt Rivers. This was for the prompt, I think it was Sketch. So I drew Lentz drawing himself, except he would not know how to draw, so I had to practice some really poorly drawn things. This is my favorite little drawing. This one kind of reminds me of that artist. I think their name is Cole. They do like little animation things and stuff on TikTok, and I've also seen them on Instagram recently. But I don't know why, but this sketch like reminds me of their little persona. I was trying to do like a little fish eye 0.5 thing, which more recently I've actually learned how to do this. This was for the prompt Wheel. It's Lentz driving, but he's being really irresponsible at the wheel. Here's the actual final sketch, these two, and I used a light pad and like put them where they should be on the page. And then I drew Superman for the prompt Cape. I was trying to draw a chipmunk originally, but that is not a chipmunk. That looks like some type of weird dog, but not even a dog. It just looks like if just animal. What kind of animal is that? Animal. This was for the prompt. What was it? I think the prompt was flashlight. Shanti wants him to use his lightsaber as like a flashlight, because that's a thing they do in the Star Wars universe a lot, except he doesn't want to, and he feels like it would be disrespectful in some way, so he doesn't want to do it. He probably would eventually do it, because I mean, come on guy, if you're in the dark and you need to see, He's got a light, use it. I tried to do that 0.5 angle again, except when I was doing these, I wasn't using a reference more recently, especially since I've been, I hate to bring it up again, but like, for the art challenge, I've been like doing a lot of gesture drawings and like really learning how to look at a reference and like draw it. So I have been able to get the 0.5 face down using a reference, so I'm really proud of myself for that. For the prompt owl, I drew Ahsoka with the weird little owl thing that follows her around, and I drew Sonic for the prompt fast. I used to be really obsessed with Sonic. This one's my favorite. For the prompt crocodile, I drew Amit from, of course she's not from Moon Knight, but I drew Amit from Moon Knight. I literally cannot remember what that prompt was, but it was a very loose interpretation of the prompt. This is one of my favorite drawings from that whole month. It's Kamir and his buddies from the Jedi Temple or whatever. For this one, the prompt was greenhouse, so I drew Lentz outside of his greenhouse because he has a green thumb. This is funny. It's Kamir getting hit in the head with a rock. For this one, the prompt was party, so I drew Kamir and his cat. He's having a party for his cat because his cat turned 3. Here's the thumbnail, and this is the sketch I used for the actual drawing, traced it with a light pad. The prompt for this one was radish. I drew like a strawberry shortcake type character, so she's a radish lady. And here's the final sketch that I used for the final drawing. And the prompt for this one was grass. So it's Shanti and Kamir outside having like a little lunch in the grass. This is my favorite sketch that came out of this one, out of this prompt, but it's not the sketch I ended up using. I ended up using this one, but I do like how the drawing turned out. The prompt for this one was pony, and there was one prompt, what was it? I think it was break or something, and I was gonna draw Kamir on his break, but ended up not doing that. And down here, I decided that Kamir is a nail biter, so he's in rough shape. He's in really rough shape. He needs to stop. But for the actual prompt break, I ended up drawing Kamir and his buddies from the Jedi Temple, except here he's not friends with them yet. And I used that whole he's a nail biter thing here because he's anxious. I gave Kamir like a really small design update. I just changed his eyes a little bit. And then I also drew Star Spider. This was the last prompt for Peachtober. That's my spider sound. I have a video on about how I designed this character. I'm back on the ballpoint pen. I forgot that I picked it up again, but I definitely put it back down. Over here, I was sketching with these Tombow brush pens. I have 3 of them that I use now to kind of add color to my sketchbook. I have 761, which is this pink, 055, which is this yellow, and 451, which is like this light blue color. I sketched with these first, and then I went over them with a ballpoint pen, which that was a fun little thing to do. I did it again over here. I think this is the best little drawing that came to come out of that. And then this whole page was done with a Pilot G2, which if you're unfamiliar with this, I'm about to familiarize yourself with this. This is the best gel pen on the market. It does smudge a little. You do have to wait a little for it to dry, but like, look at this. It's such a bold black line, and I love it so much. I love it for just writing and taking notes, but on this particular page I decided to sketch with it. And then I went back to the mechanical pencils because I needed to practice my facial anatomy, which is one of the prompts for the AF Year of Art thing. So I put a pause on this, picked up gesture drawing, figure drawing or whatever, and we're gonna get back to this later on. I did some more practice over here with the Jakari and some more Kamirs. I really like this one. Here's Myra. I colored it with Ohuhu Markers and Copics, I think, and I also kind of touched it up a little with some Prismacolors. I've got some more Tombow sketches, and I also broke out the G2 again. Then I did this one. I like this page. I was practicing facial anatomy a little more, and also just shading with a pencil. I really like this sketch. This is Myra again. And then I brought back that Black Madonna idea and was drawing some of those. And then I was practicing shading again. Oh, and Lent's bald. I guess I just didn't feel like drawing hair. This is another idea from the little story I'm writing with Kamir. I want to explain it, but I also kind of like want to make it into a thing, because I did have a comic that I was posting on Instagram for a little while a few years ago, and like I do want to bring that back eventually. So I'm like, do I go ahead and say all this stuff and spoil it, or do I hold up? Undecided. And since I'm undecided, I won't say what it is just yet. Did a bunch more anatomy shading practice over here. I really like this sketch. That's kind of why I use these. Like if I have a sketch that I really like and I want to bring attention to it, I just color around it with this bright yellow color. I was practicing drawing from reference here. This was before the drawing challenge started, so I was just kind of just doing stuff until January. Here I drew Luke Skywalker. Well, I will say this is from Kmir's story. He is a teacher for like a brief moment, like maybe a year. Here he's saying he hates his students. He doesn't actually hate his students, which is what he's saying here, but he does not like teaching. It's not for him at all. This whole spread here is just about him being a teacher, and here he is with his class. His class is all like, they're like 8-year-olds. Since I was drawing a class, I'm like, I have to come up with a bunch of different little random folks, and it's in the Star Wars universe, and there's so many different species in Star Wars. So I drew a whole bunch of different, there's like a few humans, there's a couple humans, this guy's a Deveronian, this guy's a Zabrak, there's a Nautolan, a Brodian, and there's, I don't know the name of this species, but they're like, if you've ever seen the Clone Wars, it's that episode where Ahsoka and Lux Bunteri go to see Death Watch, the Mandalorians, and they're like occupying a planet that they're not supposed to be on. They have like taken it from the native people. Real world parallels. So that's where he is from. But yeah, this is Kmir's class, that one semester that he taught. I just would like to get into drawing a bunch of different Star Wars species and just less of the more human looking ones. Of course, that's easier for me. Here is that my students are all morons. This is just getting pretty chill. Bunch more Kmir stuff. Here's Kmir and Shanti giving each other a fist bump. His like uniform for his teaching job or whatever, he's like wearing that, and he has like little pins on it, so Shanti's helping him put his pins on. Here's Shanti again, still playing with different ideas on what I want her hair to look like, which I think I finally got something that's maybe a little more concrete, but you'll see in a sec. Here are a bunch of lenses that I did in preparation for the fancy lens of 2025 video. Also, I figured maybe Kmir would have either, I said friends. Are they friends? They're more of acquaintances from his teaching job, so that's those two. Since I actually gave Kmir friends when he got older, because the others from, like the little Padawans from earlier, there's like from his childhood, so I gave him like friends when he's an adult. I mentioned earlier Kmir has tattoos, but I don't think it's something he would actually do on his own. It would be uncharacteristic for him to get tattoos, so it's like, well, maybe his friends from his teaching job convinced him to do it. Here's the snake, but then I drew the fish. I haven't decided. Here, I finally established a hairstyle for Shanti. It's these braids. They're inspired by Chadian women's braids. They have these like really, really long braids, and they're really cute. So that's what she's gonna have. And I've been drawing her with this hairstyle recently, and it's really fun. Oh my goodness! What? We're at the end. That's crazy. These are sketches that I did in preparation for this drawing, which is a watercolor painting, which was the last video that I uploaded. iCards or in screen if you want to see it. This is the last page. Actually, it's not. I should have pasted it here so it could actually be the last page, because I redraw the first page on the last page, except it's not actually the last page. This is technically the last page, which I did some gesture drawings from the challenge on this one. We're gonna call this the last page. So this is how I started. This is how it ended. There's some improvement there, I think. There's some improvement. That is everything. This sketchbook took me 6 months to complete. And if you would like to actually see better images of the sketchbook, it is available for sale on my Patreon, or you can join the $5 tier and get access to this sketchbook and my previous sketchbook and the new one, because I'm going to start posting sketches from my new sketchbook, which I've already started very soon, and also more in-depth look at the sketchbook that I'm using for the art challenge. If that's something you're interested in, there's a link to my Patreon in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Shout out to my patrons, Merriman Illustrations, Sister Donna 55, and Kelsey. Thank you so much for being my patrons. I really appreciate you and everything you do. Wow, oh my goodness. A couple more videos that I think you would like. Links to all my social media, including the Discord server, my Instagram and stuff, and also my Etsy shop, Patreon, are in the description. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. I got a box full of chocolate rocks that I'm working on. I love these things so much. I never realized how much I wanted to eat rocks until I got introduced to chocolate rocks. I gotta eat these chocolate rocks. I got them like close to 2 weeks ago. So I need to eat these rocks. I need to eat these rocks.